But if you're running the half and the full, you're more than likely going to be over 90 minutes. Then you definitely want to carb load. And then your last big meal should be the day before the race. So Dopey is interesting though, because you're going to run the half before the marathon. So say you finish the 10K and you want to carb load for the half and the full, then you finish and then your next meal would be the big one. But then you're going to have to eat that night again on the 10K, another pretty good meal to then survive into the full marathon. So this is a little bit of a unique scenario. So you're going to have to kind of break this rule a little bit for the actual half marathon, but that's in lieu of the obvious marathon at the end of the tunnel here. The meal after the half would be your last big meal. That night before the marathon, basically just eat something small, like maybe a salad and just a little bit of bread or something like that, but just a small little meal, not a big deal. But that kind of lunchtime meal is going to be your last big one. But you should carb load, anywhere from 3 to 5 days out. So you want to start early in the week. You want to start probably Monday or Tuesday. And carb loading isn't, you don't get the license to eat, ice cream after every meal and go crazy with it. It's like really only a couple hundred calories of carbs a day. So maybe just an extra piece of bread, a little extra scoop of rice, not much more than that. I mean, it's just leaning a little bit more into carb heavy meals, not at the expense of your protein. So that's the way to think of it.
So now you're talking about the big meals, and especially for Dopey, where, as you mentioned, it breaks the rule a little bit because you have the half that you're carb loading for and then the full. So in between maybe their biggest meal, let's say around brunch after the half or right after the 10K, are there like certain snacks or like not like specifically what to eat, but like certain time frames to maybe eat smaller bunches to help with the carb loading and not have it be such a big meal, but at the same time, prepping for that full at the end of the 4 days? Or
I mean, I think that's a unique idea. I mean, at the end of the day, like however you break up the calories, I think is just however you break up the calories, whatever's more comfortable for you. I don't love grazing like that so much. Like I tend to just want to have just a good meal and just enjoy the situation there.
Issue.
Yeah, and that's probably true. Yeah, but I think if you are used to eating that way, like you don't like a bolus of food, then yeah, absolutely, just take it how you need to get it in.
All right, so we've survived Dopey. We did a great job. Everybody got a PR, and it's over. What do you do next? Like you just come off this big high, and you were anticipating this. I've been 28-week training plan. What do you do to make sure that you follow up with whatever you need to do as far as running, but then how do you mentally do something like that and then stop?
I mean, how do you guys deal with it? I mean, honestly,
we don't usually prepare for 28 weeks.
and we sign up for the next one while we're there. So we've already got next one.
We're already signed up for the next one before we're there.
Yeah, we have the springtime surprise. For those of you, there's another one, springtime surprise. We'll be getting into that one.
And we're doing that challenge too. Yeah. So it's 3 days.
Yeah.
There's no full at least.
So I guess that's what we do. We just have something on the radar and plan the week when you get home that you can still, it's winter here, but you've got to get your miles in. You can't just stop running. That's the key, is you just don't come home and just stop. That was great. Yeah. You don't want to lose what you've built up all that time.
Potentially, but you do also need to recover because in order to have your peaks, you have to have your valleys. So what I would say is if you do have something lined up right after Dopey, I'd probably still take a week down and I would cross train every other day. So half hour every other day is going to be enough to sustain the cardiovascular load, but there's no question that you have to let the musculoskeletal load recover. There's just no question. You should not get right back into running. I think some coaches would differ on that, but I think those coaches maybe haven't lived through as many fires maybe, and they don't quite know that if you don't play by that rule, then, and it's not a hard, fast rule, but if you don't let your body recover, that next training cycle, you just can't get to your peak fitness. Like you are struggling to get to that really high end stuff.
And then one last question in preparation while we're there. Is there any particular stretches or anything after the races, maybe even after just between the half and the full, to do to help recover and stay ready for the longer distances coming down?
I think the cop-out answer is if you don't do things, then no, then don't do things. Like, I mean, like I